few months ago, I designed this chalk holder for my Tupperware in order to hold my Friction Labs chalk puck in place. I gave it a few functional features designed around the ability to be able to store loose chalk and broken pieces, and I admitted that it was shoddily built and could use a lot of improvements. I shared it with the internet just trying to share the design, but there was one major problem. For some reason, it never occurred to me to 3D print the whole container. I guess I just had my chalk in a Tupperware for so long that I got completely used to it. Plus, I know most powerlifters keep their chalk in a Tupperware, so it was kind of the norm. In any case, this new idea sounded like just what I needed, so I picked it up as my next project and got to work. And this is the final result. Now, I've been using this for a few weeks now, and I have to admit, I really like the design, and I'm really satisfied with how it came out. It's definitely a huge step up from the first. Now, if you saw the last video, it's no secret that I was really new to 3D printing, and I mentioned how I designed the whole thing in Tinkercad, and it made it really hard because I didn't really know what I was doing. But this time around, I decided to take a stab using an actual CAD software, and I decided to learn FreeCAD to take my abilities to the next step and be able to design something a lot better. And FreeCAD was an absolute game changer. The ability to sketch out designs and dimension parts was absolutely crucial, and it just really made things a lot easier. Sure, learning it was kind of hard, but once you actually know what you're designing from scratch, it makes things a lot easier. I'm sure if I stuck with Tinkercad and really learned it thoroughly, I would have been able to develop a lot more skills, and I would have been able to design something just as nice. But using a full parametric design software that allows you to sketch and constrain all your dimensions made things a lot easier, and it definitely made things really easy for this project where there are a lot of small pieces that need to fit together and a lot of really intentionally designed features. Now, the original idea for this design was to make kind of a hinged box that you can close and open. The reason I thought about this is because I had actually printed another hinged box that I used for something else that I really liked and worked rather well. I knew part of the problem would be kind of sealing the chalk in there, and with the hinged design, there would always be a risk that the powder loose chalk could fall out. But even as I was designing this hinged version, I kind of already had an idea that I would need to make a V3, because one of the features that occurred to me was maybe having an extra piece that you can place on top to hold all of the other parts in place so you can pour out the loose chalk a lot easier. Now, as I mentioned, even now I am still rather new to 3D printing and CAD design, so as I was printing this and already thinking about how I can make a V3, I came across the issue that I didn't know what tolerance was, and these pieces just did not fit together. And because of that, I pretty much had to redesign and reprint the whole thing from scratch, which gave me an opportunity to rethink about how I was designing this and maybe revisit the idea of including a third piece that would block some of the chalk in order to make the loose chalk easier to pour. I molded over, took that opportunity to redesign the container with some new features, and we finally ended up with this. And this was the final design of our 3D printed container. I already tried it out a few times, and there's some features in here that I really like, including some things that I try to kind of include and keep in mind when I designed the original version that was meant to be placed in Tupperware. But here I was really able to design everything from scratch, and I was able to make those features a lot more consistent and a lot better. So as far as the container as a whole goes, the first thing you'll notice is the same thing you see in the original version that was meant to be placed in the Tupperware, which is just a hole in the center for you to place your chalk in, which fits perfectly. Again, the chalk I use is the Friction Labs puck. This video is not sponsored, obviously, but I really like the Friction Labs chalk. I really like having the puck so you can chalk up on your back or on a singlet whenever you need to, as I mentioned in the first video, and I designed it so it fits perfectly in this slot. The other thing that this shares with the original design is that you have two halves here, kind of, one for your kind of block pieces of chalk that break off, and one for your loose powder chalk on the other side. Now let's talk about 4 features that I added to this design that I had in mind with the first one, but are a huge step up from the first version. Number 1, if you look closely, there's a little notch right here where the puck is that makes it a lot easier to pick up when this chalk wears down. As soon as you use the puck a little bit, it'll start to wear down, and it sits pretty flush with the circle that it sits in. So this little notch makes it a lot easier to actually pick the chalk up when it wears down, so that way you don't struggle to pick it up from the top once it's flush with the top of the ring. But that's one of the more simple ones, so let's talk about some of the cooler features in this design. Number 2, you'll notice a little hole or slit right here that separates the two halves. That makes it easier for the loose chalk to fall through and go to its designated spot. Now, it's not perfect, but the idea is all that loose chalk can kind of make its way down there into that bottom half. I'm getting chalk everywhere. And it's just big enough for the loose chalk to fall through, but not any of the bigger chunks of chalk. Number 3, you might be able to notice this little chamfer in the corner, which essentially serves as a ramp that makes it a lot easier to pour the loose chalk out. Instead of being completely 90 degrees where you would really need to turn the container almost upside down to get the loose chalk out, that ramp makes it easier for it to get out and fall into your palm without having to turn the container completely upside down. And finally, number 4, let's talk about my favorite feature of this container. Now, as I mentioned, with the fail of the hinge design, it gave me an opportunity to rethink and redesign how I was making this container. And what I opted for was a sliding lid that covers the top cleanly and snaps into place. You'll notice 2 magnets on this print and 2 magnets on the lid that hold the lid together when you slide it into place. Now, part of me wanted to avoid using magnets when making this build. I really wanted it to be something that anyone can print without having to need a specific third part, especially considering that these are just random magnets that I got off of Amazon. So although I wanted to avoid using magnets, I know a lot of people do say magnets are underused in 3D printing, and I kind of liked the idea of using magnets, and I think it really elevates the build for 2 reasons. Number 1, gyms are usually chock full, no pun intended, of metal. So you could really just take this lid and stick it anywhere you want if you really don't want to worry about it. But the second benefit of using magnets is because of this sliding lid design, it creates kind of a lip so that when you slide the lid on, the chalk is a lot more secure and it doesn't really risk falling out as much if this were, let's say, a hinge design. So with the lid sliding in place and being held by the magnets, it's a lot more secure and it's a lot harder for loose chalk to fall out, let's say, in your gym bag. But the real benefit of having a sliding lid is it incorporates that feature that I really was already thinking about including my V3, where because this lid is sliding, you can just slide it back a little bit and pour out any loose chalk into your palm without having to worry about the other pieces falling out. And if you'll notice, that's actually one of the reasons why I extended the height of this part of the ring and really made sure that the blocks just barely fit in this side of the container so that there's a lot less motion up and down for them to break apart into other pieces. And again, if you just slide the lid back slightly, you can pour that loose chalk into your palm a lot easier. So with those 4 features, and especially that last one, again, this is something that I'm really satisfied with, and it's something that I'm a lot more confident sharing to the world and encouraging other people to print. Again, this was made with a Friction Labs puck chalk. This video is not sponsored, obviously. And the magnets I just got off of Amazon, but they're about 10 millimeters in diameter and 2 millimeters in height. I super glued the magnets into the holes that they're meant to be inserted to, and I ended up with something that I'm really happy with, and I'm really excited to use more. And there you go. There is my fully 3D printed chalk holder. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you like about the design. And this honestly might end up being a final version. It's not perfect, but it has basically all of the features that I could have thought of, and I really like using it regularly at the gym. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys print this on your own. Let me know if there are any extra features you would like to see or like to be included in this design. And if you print it and try it out for a while, let me know how you like it. Until then, I will be using this to hold my Friction Labs chalk in place, and I can't wait to use it on meet day as well. If you have any questions or comments, don't forget to leave them down below and I'll do my best to answer. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But other than that, that is all I have for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.